Calling itself the bad boy of musical theater, New Line Theater prides itself on performing edgy works that are way out of the mainstream. As you can imagine, their work is never boring. Our cameras went behind the scenes to find out about this group that thrives on controversy as we place New Line Theater in the spotlight. Take one wacky, fun-loving guy, some provocative storytelling, add a little rock and roll, and what do you get? New Line Theater.
We decided at the beginning that the mission of New Line was going to be that we were going to do musicals that were about social, political issues. Sometimes it's really overt on the surface, sometimes it's more subtle underneath, but there's always some kind of substance, guts underneath it all.
Located in what used to be CVC High School and is now Wash U's South Campus, New Line is proud to be known as the bad boy of musical theater.
From the very beginning, we were doing shows, for the most part, doing shows that the Muni wouldn't do, stages wouldn't do. A lot of them had four-letter words in them. A lot of them had sexuality of some kind. Every once in a while we do a show with nudity in it. But we really kind of became the, rowdy alternative, I guess, to the more traditional musical theater in town.
Artistic director Scott Miller makes sure that all the shows he directs are delightfully daring and unconventional.
I direct all the shows we do, and part of that reason is that the personality of the company is sort of my personality, and I've really learned over time how to approach those weirder shows and how to take material that's difficult and make it accessible and make it clear to the audience. And I've really developed, I think, a style for New Line that's very outrageous, wacky, crazy, but also very deeply emotional, and on some level, even when it's really funny, fairly serious. But lately they've been referring to me as the mad genius, too, because of all the crazy stuff we do. And they've also, on top of that, come up with the term Millerography for when I stage a musical number rather than the choreographer, because they all know it's going to be very strange and silly and odd.
As for the name, New Line, it's simple, really.
I just thought it sounded kind of cool. I was looking for a name for the company, and I wanted to put new in it, because I wanted it to be, this is not old-fashioned traditional musical comedy, but it doesn't really have meaning other than it sounded cool to me.
And Miller has an amusing take on awards as well. New Line has been nominated for the Kevin Kline Award every year, yet they've never won.
We kind of feel like, that's okay, we're the bad boy. If we win an award, that'll ruin our reputation.
Casting these spirited shows is about the willingness to take risks and break rules. Take, for example, Shakespeare's Two Gentlemen of Verona.
I love my mother, I want to tell her. I love my brother, I want to tell him. I love my sister, I want to tell her. I love my neighbor, I want to tell me. I want to love me, I want to love me. You can't love another without loving yourself.
We get amazing local people. They're all from St. Louis. We're not a union company. A lot of the actors have 9-to-5 jobs, and sometimes I'm amazed at the energy and stamina that they have coming into rehearsal after a day at work.
Each show that Miller stages has its own personality, but for him, one in particular stands out from the crowd.
Probably my favorite show we've ever done is a show called Bat Boy, which is based on the Weekly World News stories of the half-boy, half-bat found in Virginia cave. And it's this amazing, amazing, funny rock musical. We've done it twice. I'm sure I'll come back to it again. It's everything that New Line is. It's incredibly outrageous and ridiculous and crazy and really sweet and emotional and engaging. It's very, the audience, laughs all night long and then is crying at the end. And I just think that's the best thing ever.
Even after 20 years of edgy productions, New Line still hasn't done it all.
There is one show that I'd really like to do. It's a show called Promenade from 1969, and it is the strangest musical I've ever encountered in my life. Extremely surrealistic, kind of absurdist, and It's just, I think, one of the funniest things I've ever encountered, and the songs are all funny. And I really want to work on this show, but it's such a weird show. The title's not all that exciting, and so it's kind of been on the back burner for a while, and someday I'm going to do this, but for now we're holding off.
Miller's lifelong love of musical theater is what motivates him, and he hopes to continue the craziness.
I just want to keep doing what we're doing. I love the kind of stuff we do. We get to find the coolest, most interesting shows, and I really just want to keep on keeping on.
A group of talented local musicians teamed up to raise money for the earthquake victims in Japan. Musicians from the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and the Ariana String Quartet were among those who performed at a benefit concert to aid the victims of Japan's earthquake and tsunami. The event took place at the chapel. For a $15 donation, audience members enjoyed classical music as well as performances by Aaron Bodie, Bridge, and the Electro Funk Assembly. They raised $6,500. All proceeds went to the Red Cross and Pacific Tsunami Fund.